Hi, Gordon Shedden here, triple British touring car champion and GS Yuasa ambassador. The guys got me loads of questions to answer, everyone trying to find out something different, so here goes. Let me try and answer as many as I can. So, from Twitter straight in, Stop It Roar asks, how does the addition of hybrid change your attack and defence strategy in racing? Do you think it adds to the racing experience? Well, we're one weekend in, just after Donington Park, and that was pretty successful. So I think that our strategy looks like it's not too bad just now, but absolutely it does change the way you've got to race. It's really interested in that first weekend, seeing how people deployed in different strategy from qualifying to the race. Different types of car, different engine, all got their own theory on it. So it certainly adds to it, and I know from first-hand experience there was plenty of times I was on that power button for hybrid to try and complete some overtakes. So absolutely it does help. Pink Flame 18 on Twitter asks, how has the addition of hybrid system and associated components affected the general running costs for teams, especially in regards to damage as a result of contact? Good question. There is so much technology in this, it is just incredible. The team at Team Dynamics have been working really hard over the winter because although everybody has the same system, how we can place the system and how we can look after it is very important. So everything from trying to protect the radiators and the cooling system at the very front of the car, that's been really important. Trying to manage the heat and the temperature of the hybrid motor and the battery, again really important to try and keep its efficiency as strong as possible. So the costs will go up with damage, no doubt about it, but we've done everything we can to try and cuddle that hybrid system and try and keep it as safe as possible. Fraser Lloyd on Twitter, which BTCC track do you regard as your strongest? Well, the numbers don't lie, and Donington is definitely my strongest. I think I have 11 BTCC wins. It is one of my favourite circuits, but obviously my total favourite circuit is Knockhill. It goes without saying. If we could have 10 rounds at Knockhill, I would be a happy boy. Tomahawk91 from Instagram, what was your experience like in WTCR? Interesting to say the least. Perhaps not what I signed up to, but that's part of life, and it's part of the journey. Not everything in life goes smoothly, and as many people say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And some tough times, some great times as well. You know, still was a race winner in WTCR. And that experience, I think, has made me stronger and more complete coming back to race in BTCC. Luke A. Flanagan and CJ Hill 2022 on Twitter, which of your 3 championships would you consider the sweetest or hardest fought? Good one. All 3 championships so far have been really different. Obviously that pure emotion of the first championship in 2012 was incredible. Nobody expected me to win in 2015, you know, to have seen it almost been taken away, you know, through contact in the first race at Brands Hatch, to have to come from the very back of the grid and fight my way through to get that car. I think I needed to be above 6th place or something like that. That was just an amazing race. It was a no holds barred experience from engine performance, you know, to everything. I would have rather left the thing upside down on top of the tyres than not won that championship that day. So that was very special. And then of course 16, you know, racing very much against one car, against Sam Tordoff that day, and to go into the final race starting behind and knowing that I have to finish in front, the pressure was on. And you know, we'd clawed back a lot that year. Don't think I led the championship in 2016 until the end of the last race, the end of race 30. But I guess it shows you've only got to be leading at the end. So yeah, all 3 very different in very different respects. But yeah, they obviously still make me smile thinking about them as I talk to you about them just now. The Hard Compound on Twitter asks, what are the biggest differences between BTCC and WTCR? Lots. WTCR car, certainly the early generations of them are a lot more standardised, a lot more standard components, whereas a BTCC car really is a pure thoroughbred race car. There's huge amount of engineering goes on, huge amount of technology in a BTCC car, and it's a slightly different concept from WTCR. Although they look similar from the outside, and they do bear resemblance to the cars that you see on the street from, Hondas, Audis, Cupras, BMWs, whatever. Under the skin, they are very, very different. Lou15_5 on Instagram asks, what made you leave BTCC and what brought you back? Good question. I actually didn't have any intention to leave BTCC, and my deal was to continue as always with Dynamics going into 2018, and I'd done a TCR race at the end of 2017, qualified on pole position, and TCR Europe in the finale in Dubai in the Leopard VW Golf, and I never really thought anything else about it. And as WTCR was in its infancy, manufacturers were looking for professional drivers, and Audi got in touch very late. I mean, middle of January, that's how late. And perhaps my relationship with Alan McNeish kind of helped that along a bit. And they say they gave me at that time an opportunity which I couldn't say no to. I'd done BTCC since 2006. And what was offered was something that I couldn't turn down. So that was the reason that I went with a heavy heart. I didn't want to leave at that time, but obviously as WTCR continued, manufacturers pulled out. Audi pulled out their factory support, so there was no program left within the Audi family. And that was the end of the WTCR experience. I had a year out, and then as Matt Neal always said, at one stage we'll get the band back together. And when the opportunity for me to return to Dynamics came, I think it was it was obviously something I wanted. I want one of the best cars on the grid with the best team, and our previous success showed that we do pretty well together. So yeah, that's why I came back to Dynamics. Did you ever have the pleasure of meeting Colin McRae? Asks Steve_EAG on Instagram. Yes, met Colin quite a few times. I used to come to Knockhill. He had a factory Suzuki Superbike that Crescent had built for him. He was an absolute petrol head on 2 wheels, 4 wheels, speedboats, all sorts of stuff. And yeah, an absolute legend. Who just had a real, passion for life and speed and everything that kind of brought. So, yeah, sadly missed. MCD Seamus on Twitter asks, when you came back to the BTCC, was it more or less challenging than you remembered it? And if so, what did you have to do to adjust yourself and the car to stay competitive against the up-and-coming young talent? I don't know if it was different coming back, but the level is so high. I think probably the issue is I'd spent 3 years away on a different tyre. That's probably the biggest thing. The FK8 Type R had been developed around Matt and DanCam, and it was slightly different to how I remembered the FK2, the previous incarnation. So. And also coming back, everybody, the game moves on, and there's no place to hide. It took us a little while to get the car exactly as I wanted it, and to kind of mould it into my car rather than somebody else's. But I think it was quite clear, we finished the season really, really strong. I mean, the last kind of 3-4 rounds were fantastic. Once the penny dropped and it clicked what we needed to do, we were super strong at the end of 2021. But some great talent coming through, some great racing. I watched it with obviously with interest in my time away. To make sure that the Dynamics were getting on well, and just to cheer on Rory every now and again as well. So it's exciting for the championship, and going forward, I'm sure the racing will be just as competitive as it's always been. From Instagram, Harrison Darville 96. With so many podiums over your time in BTCC, what do you do with all your caps? Good question. Generally, I keep all my winning caps and write on which race they were and such like. Some of the others, I've given away to charities, to disadvantaged kids, and people who they all mean something to me. So I'll only give them away when I really feel there's a good reason to do so. It's if I think back and as the young kid watching touring cars from the outside, just as a spectator with my dad. I think if I'd ever have got a cap from a touring car race from a winner or a podium finisher, I'd probably still have it today. So that's what I'd like to my hats to kind of go towards. Scott, oh no, here we go. ABCDEFGGR asks on Twitter, you're known for hustling Hondas round circuits, but in the UK, what is your daily driver? Not very exciting. I've got a van as my daily driver at the minute. Always good for getting the push bikes in the back and the motorbike in the back. So, we're so lucky that we get to drive so many different cars over the years. For me, just being on the road, it's driving Miss Daisy, and whatever keys I can pick up, I'm quite happy with. Scott_Fleming07 on Twitter asks, which race win has given you the most satisfaction? Probably one that stands out was Rockingham 2012 championship winning year. It was pouring wet at Rockingham. Rockingham was the circuit which included part of the oval, which was designed for IndyCar, and an infield circuit. It was absolutely streaming wet, and I had the biggest crash that I've never had at turn 1 on the oval. I don't know how it came back. I think it went in doing about 130, 140 miles an hour, and we were backwards in 6th gear going to the wall. And I was going down gears trying to keep the front wheels spinning to keep it out the wall, and it came back and I survived. And not only did I survive, but I ended up winning that race. And I think possibly my championship came as a result of that win. So that's one that was very, very special for me. At hern.emma on Instagram asks, what do you think are the essential qualities of a championship winning driver, and where do you hope to finish this season? Well, obviously I hope to win. It's what I'm here for, and I'm under no illusions how hard that's going to be, but that is the goal. Everything that gets done over the winter, all the training, all the prep, all the team doing absolutely everything they can to give me a winning car and a winning package is what goes into making these championships. It's I think qualities-wise, essential qualities, you really have got to have it all in touring cars. It's everything from single lap qualifying speed to being able to try and keep the car in one piece and not pick up damage, to be able to overtake, to be able to make the best of your bad weekends. Everybody generally has their day in the sun at some stage, but these championships for me are won on your bad weekends, and that's the important ones. And James Douglas on Facebook asks, after so many years and much success in BTCC, what drives you to keep coming back for more? Winning. It's something that you just can't get out of your bloodstream. It's the excitement, the adrenaline, And now it's, I guess, you know, I've done a lot in touring cars now. I thought it was all about the personal kind of glory for me at the end of winning races, championships, whatever. But now, when you look, it's incredible to have won last weekend at Donington, and I look out the front window and I can see all the team, all the mechanics, the engineers, who have a smile bigger than mine on their face because they are living every single lap with me. And that is pretty special. So yeah, we want to win, but we want to do it as a team. And that is pretty much that. So I hope you've enjoyed answering the questions as truthfully as possible. As ever, guys at GS Yuasa, they're what we need battery wise, so make sure you check your battery in your car. If it is a bit sluggish, check out GS Yuasa online and buy the best. It's the only thing to do. Thank you.